It is
This is a
on.
sovereign citizen situation, right?
I don't know what that word means.
Well,
Yeah. I'm gonna say I'm not saying that I'm one of them, but I'm just saying I'm operating under what the Constitution Supreme Court ruling is talking about.
All right, folks, this one gets spicy. In today's courtroom clash, we've got Judge Perkins squaring off with a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen who, get this, claims he doesn't even need a driver's license to be on the road. Bold move, right? Judge Perkins, though, is having none of it. He calls out the guy's complete misunderstanding of how the law actually works, and at one point even offers him a lawyer to help sort things out. But no, the defendant insists he knows better. It's equal parts frustrating and fascinating. So here's the real question. Do these sovereign citizen antics ever help their cause, or are they just shooting themselves in the foot?
Well, Your Honor, when the officer pulled me over and he said that, I didn't say those words. I just told him I'm operating under the Constitution, and that's all else I said to him. And he just basically lied, said I was disgruntled, asked for backup and all that. And the video would show I wasn't even whatever, I can't think of the word he said, but he was saying I need backup, I have a irate or whatever word he said, and that was not even true.
it's just what you're saying is just not the state of the law. I don't know any other way to say it.
We just going to continue with the case, and whatever comes about. If the paperwork I given wasn't irrelevant, that's it then. So what is the next step?
So either the next step is take a plea, which I'm sure you don't want to do, but I'll give you the offer, or take it to trial, and those are the next steps.
Well, I guess we're going to have to go to trial.
I'm gonna set it for a jury trial too, so you can bring this in front of a jury of your peers and see, what they say. And I guess you don't want a lawyer, right?
The other cases that I had got dismissed for same situation. So
say what?
The other cases I had for this was dismissed, and you told me to give you one name of one person, and I could have said it then and there. It was myself. I had court cases for the same thing, and it was dismissed on whatever circumstances happened. It was dismissed.
This guy is acting like the charges against him are minor inconveniences he can just brush off with a wave of his hand. If he's going to represent himself, you'd think he'd at least take the time to understand the basics of the law, or, at minimum, run a Google search. What's wild is that he's fighting this whole thing when all he really had to do was pay the traffic ticket and go get a valid driver's license. It's not that hard. It's quicker, cheaper, and way less embarrassing than getting roasted by a judge in a public courtroom. Judge Perkins is giving him chances, but this guy just keeps choosing chaos.
And what do you mean by that?
For the same driver,
let's do this. Let's call it and put it all on the record. I have my court reporter back. Let's call it and put it on the record, all right? So, Mr. Lynch, let me ask you this, and this is just to understand, try to really get a grasp of your position. I understand you're why don't you, if you're not a sovereign citizen, usually sovereign citizens tell me, I don't want a lawyer. If you're not claiming the sovereign citizenship, why don't you get a lawyer to help you out with this?
I can't never find no attorney. The last attorney I got, they was telling me you should have just took a deal, you should have paid the ticket, and you really can't find nobody who's going to take your case. So basically, I'm in limbo, and basically all I have to say, not guilty with impunity.
Declaring himself not guilty, like he's above the system, this guy is seriously out of touch with reality. You've got to wonder if maybe no lawyer wants to deal with him because he's just too much of a headache. At this point, it would be so much easier for him to just pay the fine and move on? He looks like he's in his 30s or 40s. Definitely old enough to know better. You'd hope he'd have learned something by now. And did anyone else catch that person laughing during the Zoom hearing? Honestly, I couldn't blame them. It was comedy gold. The whole thing has spiraled into a courtroom circus, and it's obvious that Judge Perkins is fast losing patience. This situation's heating up fast. What do you make of it?
Let's say this. I guess if you're not willing to.
So I'm not a national, so I can't say that. All I'm saying, I'm just a citizen, and all I'm going to say, not guilty with impunity.
Well, how are you immune to this? Because I mean, let's just do this. You don't have to. You don't have to tell me how you're going to proceed with your case. You're fully in the right to proceed however you want to proceed. I'm going to just give you a jury trial, and you'll have to present what you need to present in front of a jury. Will you allow me to assign a lawyer to you just for the purposes of, helping you out with the courtroom procedure and stuff?
You can do that.
I don't find anything that he's filed that has any merit. So that's why I'm giving you a jury trial, because if you bring the same stuff in a trial, if it's the same as what you're giving me and the stuff that you're professing, based on what I see, you're gonna lose.
So
by me.
If the judge is saying the information is not valid and the people don't know nothing, so why won't I put my hands in the hands of the people?
I can't decide if this guy is genuinely confused or just putting on an act. It's like he's pretending not to grasp what's happening around him. Here's the thing. The reason Judge Perkins is granting him a jury trial is actually pretty straightforward. Without one, this guy would likely lose instantly. Judge Perkins is calm and grounded in the law, while the defendant seems to be throwing out emotional rants with zero evidence to back them up. Watching it unfold is like seeing someone argue with gravity. It's never going to end well. So, what's really going on here? Misunderstanding, delusion, or just stubborn pride? Share your thoughts. I'm curious to hear what you think.
First of all, what I'm telling you is I'm trying to give you a fighting chance with these arguments that you're making. What I'm telling you is you're not going to have a fighting chance with me. You're going to lose unless you come with something substantially different than what you have. At least with the people, you said it yourself. They don't know the law, or they might not even know the law. So you may be able to get them to side with you just because they love Mr. Lynch and they want it. I don't know. But other than that,
no jury. I really don't know people jury. I'm not even gonna do that. So if I found guilty, so I'm gonna have to sue every person that was a juror.
I don't know what you're gonna have to do. I don't know, Mr. Lynch. You're the one that's making these arguments up, and you're the one that has researched and done what you've done. You provided that stuff to me, so you're expected to know the law. You're expected to know the law. So whether you can sue jurors and whether you can sue whoever, that's going to be on you to know, and then or if you don't know, that's going to be on you to find out.
Okay, so I have to get back with the law department about the videos and the dash cam of the police officers.
That I can. Mr. Bowman, can you put your appearance on the record, please? Now, Mr. Lynch, now I can potentially help you if the stuff exists. Mr. Lynch is asking for body cam and whatever discovery that body cam, audio, video, whatever discovery that the people have in relates to his matter?
Your Honor, I understand that, and discovery would be provided if he files a valid request pursuant to the court rule for discovery.
So you saying I haven't done that previously? I don't see
Hold on. She's not out. Hold on.
Hold on, Mr. Lynch. Your Honor, if I'm not mistaken, the court rule just says upon request. He's made his request today. I don't think that there's anything in the court rule that requires anything other than him making a request. Mr. Lynch has made his request for discovery, and I believe it's supposed to be provided to him.
Court rule provides for a written request, and that has not happened.
All right, let's discovery, rule 6 point. We're gonna know this discovery rule, and you got it
Forward and backwards.
Yeah, you need to get this book. You need to get this book, Mr. Lynch.
Let's be honest, this guy could really use a law book, and maybe one with pop-up illustrations just to keep him engaged. It still blows my mind how some people stroll into court with zero understanding of how the legal system works, expecting they can just talk their way out of serious trouble. Reality check. Courts run on facts, logic, and actual legal arguments, not vibes. And this guy, he brought none of the above. We're wrapping up here since the rest of the hearing is mostly procedural, just Judge Perkins setting the date for the jury trial. But what do you think? Does this guy have any shot at convincing a jury, or is he just digging himself deeper into legal quicksand? Let me know in the comments. And if you want me to cover the trial when it happens, drop a message below. Thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the conversation. Catch you in the next one.